In the last few days, while I've been minding my own business and visiting sites for educational purposes, several people told me to watch the latest DotoDoya's video. Honestly, my first reaction was, who's DotoDoya? Turns out, he's a fellow Dragon Ball player and YouTuber, just like me. I usually don't check out every video people tell me about in the comments, but someone was nice enough to straight up link it to me, so I just decided to watch it out of sheer curiosity. They said it would have been interesting and fun, but... Now, before I proceed, I'd like to make a disclaimer. It's not for me, nor for my fans. I mean, the 4 guys who actually follow me. It's meant for other people, mostly cause I don't know DotoDoya's fanbase, but for sure I know Dragon Ball fanbase, and they are, well, easily offended. I do not mean to be disrespectful towards DotoDoya himself, nor his content. I do understand that we are different people with different skills producing different content aimed at different viewers. Therefore, I do not expect him to be a top Infinite World player, nor I blame him for not being so. Clear? Clear. Now that we got the legal stuff out of the way, we can actually analyze DotoDoya's video. I gotta admit I found it quite underwhelming. Maybe I'm a little too used to other content creators' gameplay, but I found sad seeing a person struggling so much for what must have been hours in order to get past one single fight. Now I could have just said Lamau, Dota bad and call it a day, but that would have been toxic elitism, and I'm not a Dark Souls fan. Instead, I decided to finally boot up Infinite World after a long time to test first-handedly how this fight actually plays out. This was my first try.
Ready? Fight! Let's finish it! Hey, you okay?
However, this first match didn't tell me enough about the fight itself. In my opinion, I got way too lucky, with my AI manipulation being successful, which in turn let me open the fight with a big combo that the opponent could not escape. This in turn gave me the key upper hand, which made the fight so much easier. Matches in Infinite World can easily snowball out of control, especially against characters like Goku, who can fully exploit its broken fatigue system. All this considered, I decided to keep playing until I got a clean perfect about half an hour later.
Hey, you okay?
After more testing, around 100 fights later, I feel like I've played and studied the Majin Buu matchup enough to finally speak about it with due respect and knowledge. First off, unsurprisingly, this fight is actually quite hard, so I might have misjudged DotoDoya's gameplay and been too harsh about it. Infinite World AI blatantly reads your inputs all the time, managing to snatch your turn with a well-placed jab, or even landing an ultimate move right in the middle of your own combo. This makes the fights quite unfair, no matter your skill level. Also, let's not forget that Majin Buu's shorter Earthbox makes harder juggling him, especially for a character like Goku. No wonder you end up dropping your combo more often and easily against him. Lastly, I would dare to say that this specific Majin Buu has been tampered with, because even if his jab should be slower than Goku's jab, I still feel like it would often come out faster than his. I can't actually test it, and I do realize it might be because of the obvious input reading thing that CPU does all the time, so take my words with a grain of salt. Now, I know why you are here, and I saved the best for last. Here is how this fight would look like if I use a TAS'd to win.
Ready? Share your energy with me! Spirit box meeting! Hey, you okay?
So, after all of this, what's the point of the video, you might ask? Well, I wanted to show that while this fight isn't exactly easy, it's not the impossible boss fight some people may believe. I also wanted to prove again that any fight, no matter how hard, can become a lot easier just by learning and applying the basics of the game, in this time, cancelling. Lastly, I wanted to say that this is far from the actual hardest boss fight of Dragon Ball Z Infinite World. But that's a topic for another time. Thank you for watching. Bye.